before viewing. Wow, I actually almost dropped doing the series. Okay, alright, let's focus. It's been a good bit. Played D&D with my buddies. Alright, I'm still angry at Star Wars Acolyte. Star Wars ain't dead. We got this. Yeah, we got this. Okay, so easy. The Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. Honestly, yeah, it can't really get any more worse than this, you know? Like at this point, how exactly should I attack this? I mean, I could make this next video angrier, a lot more angrier, and a lot more louder, but I'm trying not to be yelling at the show in every single video. Let's see. You know what? Just start laughing at how bad it gets, Chris. There we go. Just start laughing at how bad it gets, and it should be good. All right. I'm on the Force, and the Force is with me. I'm on the Force, and the Force is with me. This is going to be a train wreck. After viewing. For once, I'm right. All right. Let's begin. Hello, YouTube and internet in general. This is CUP9 here, and I'm going to try to describe Season 1, Episode 4 of the Star Wars Acolyte show. Now, for this episode, as I watched it, I did break my rule a little bit. Mostly because, again, I'm trying not to get angry and burn out at covering the series, so as I watched it, I also opened up another tab and listened to Star Wars Theory reacting to it as I reacted to it. So, Theory, if you're watching this, what's up? Keep doing what you're doing, man. So yeah, the rest of my audience, yeah, that's just the only time I'm going to break my rule if I get too angry at a series, but another favorite of mine has reacted to it, and I'm going to try to watch along with them, so I'm not punching my computer. So, what happens in this episode? Is it as bad as the last one? Well, in short, yes and no. Should you still keep watching this show? Listen, if you still want to watch the show after episode 3, you either have more patience than me, actually like the show more than me, or are just like me and just more curious at how low it could go at this point of the writing. So, let's dive into it. We start out opening with our Wookiee Jedi. Sorry, it took me a moment to pause there. So, we see him kind of show up to his little spaceship hut, kind of crash ship thing, and we see what's kind of inside his hut and what he's been doing. And it looks like kind of more of a hermit's place. It could almost fit into the Shire if it was, obviously smaller. But it would be hilarious if somehow hobbits also walked around in this planet. And inside the hut, we see the Wookiees starting to kind of grill grass, like literal grass. This isn't a euphemism for Mary Jane, YouTube. Calm down. He's literally putting grass in a pot, chopping it up, and then kind of stir-frying it. And as the camera's kind of panning around, we also get to see a couple designs on the wall that's basically a yin and yang symbol, along with the 2 tattoos that we've seen so far from the series in the last episode. And so my theory is, okay, he probably secluded himself when he started researching, okay, why these witches are started to doing stuff, and that could be part of his little study, secluded. Okay, kind of makes sense. I could see a Jedi doing that. Now, then we cut to Coruscant. And in Coruscant, we see May overlooking Jakai doing a kind of stick saber lesson with her fellow Jedi and her fellow Jedi Padawans, and a master kind of leaning in the room, kind of instructing, keep your form tight, do this, do that. Not exactly drill sergeant, but it is kind of cool to see the practice motions going on. And then at the end of the class, Jakai sees May. It's like, oh, hey, thanks for coming on by, May. Oh, well, I just came on by to thank you, Jakai. You helped clear my name. You helped find my sister, and I am perfectly 100% fine with the Jedi taking care of this problem, just not me. I kind of want to get back to my life, but because you're a good bro, I'm just, being friendly and giving you an invite. Next time in Coruscant, let's go down to a cantina or a bar and trade stories about Master Soul. Yeah, that does sound kind of fun. By the way, are you going to say goodbye to him? No. I've kind of given the man enough of that trouble, so I'm just going to just tell him I said goodbye and then I could go away. That'd be nice. It sounds like a bad idea, but I'll pass it on. Okay, cool. Now, that scene I do give points to because Osha is making it quite clear as possible to try to get out of that situation. She is way over in her head, and she knows it. And it's okay. It's actually kind of nice seeing a protag realize, look at the other characters like, yeah, this is crazy. What, way out of my pocket. I'm going to get out of here. You guys know Force stuff better than me. This is more your world. I'm kind of not here. So, thank you so long. Goodbye, And that could have been the exit for Osha, or maybe there could have been maybe after credit scene of her, but unfortunately, or fortunate, depending on how you like how Osha's being written so far, that's not the case. We then cut to Kofar, where the assassin and the poison maker are kind of unpacking these giant canisters, putting them in the bags, and as Maya is about to start going on out, the poison maker says, whoa, wait, you can't just go on blindly up in there. Come on, you need me for a reason. Yeah, I kind of on a timetable. I really don't believe you did this for you, and I really don't believe you did this for the master, and yeah, I think, and seriously, you, of all people, were able to go through this. Okay, first of all, yes, I did this. I did not do this for me. I did this for you. I helped you out. And, yeah, just don't worry about it. I know you got this, but I definitely know you walking on it blindly, you will die. And you don't need that. So, you need me just like as much as I want to help you. Yeah, as much as I want to help you. Right. Okay, so you're done packing? Okay, yeah, we're done packing. Come on, let's go. And as they start going, they have kind of a little conversation about everything going on. May just trying to figure out the whole situation, and the poison maker also kind of poking her like, okay, so how exactly are you going to kill the Jedi without using a weapon? I mean, can you at least fudge it a little bit, or will your master be... Is your master being like black and white, hard as possible, no weapons whatsoever? Is there like a little practice thing you could do beforehand? Wave a little stick or something? Yeah, Poison Maker, about my master, what deal did you make with him? Oh, yeah, I just owed him, okay? And so I'm trying to help you at the same time. Yeah. Right. So... Listen, Poison Maker, I have to admit, even though I don't buy that story that you just told me, I just want to talk about how I can't believe my sister is Jedi scum. I mean, why? How did she even do that? Like, you talked to her, right? What was she like talking to? Well, she kind of seemed a little bit in over her head. Kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Really? What? It's the closest joke I could get away with in this, how bad this show is written. Okay, fair enough. So, in over her head, that's surprising. Yeah, you know what else is surprising? She was really fond of some sort of one of the Jedi Masters that was around her. I think the name was Jedi Master Soul? Yeah, it was Master Soul. Oh, by the way, we're getting closer. Come on. Wait, what? Okay. Now, when I watched that scene, I was kind of sitting here thinking... Right. Alright, so you mean to tell me Mr. Poison Maker now knows Jedi Master Soul's name. Even though I'm pretty quite sure none of each other's names were dropped. Or if a name was dropped while that whole little poison shop interrogation was going on, it was Jackie's name. As Soul was saying, you do this, you do this, Jackie do this, you're do that. We're going, you with me, and then adios. I mean... If I ever want to rewatch this show in the future in its whole entirety, I might be proven wrong, but I really do not remember Soul's name being like physically dropped in front of Poison Maker in that little shop scene. So this begs the question: how in the hell does he actually know Soul's name? Unless he has like somebody on the inside of the Jedi Council. Which, about that, we're going to cut to Coruscant right now. So in Coruscant, there's a little chamber, not quite the High Council chamber, but a chamber of a bunch of Jedi around a little holo projector showing May's fighting moves. And Soul is saying, listen, look, she knows her master, but she still is undisciplined, and we can still use that against her. There are Jedi around him, specifically a dick-shaped head Jedi is also in the room. Don't worry. We'll crack into that. We'll crack into that whole little can of worms in a moment. Alright? So he's sitting there with the other Jedi, like, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that this one, she doesn't know her master? Well, Princess doesn't know her master. That doesn't make any sense. Well, and Soul's here saying, like, well, listen, I'm as confused as you, but there is a way we could still get her. And then everybody's favorite new Jedi walks on into the room. Master Vernestra, the Green Lady. She comes on in and says, and yet, even though you've been working on this case, she has eluded you and killed 2 of our Jedi Masters. Well, you've been chasing her. And honestly, I'm actually surprised nobody else in the room has pointed this out, but just by her moves, somebody from our own has trained her. The dickhead-shaped Jedi says, wait, somebody trained her? We must alert the High Council. Everybody's favorite new Jedi Master says, actually, no! We're not doing that. Because if we alert the High Council has to alert the Senate. And we're trying to keep this nice and quiet and convince our bosses we have our shit together. Okay. And you, random Jedi, you're going to be next going to go capture her and bring her back on here. Soul tries to interrupt, says, now hold on, wait a minute. And by the way, this meeting is done. That's the second can of worms. Don't worry, we'll be getting into this. We're going to be getting into those 2 can of worms. I told myself to tell the plot and then dig into this. Okay? So, 2 cans of worms already loaded, ready to go. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Vernestra turns to Soul as Soul kind of approaches her, probably trying to bring up how bad of an idea this is, you know? She turns on him and says, why didn't you tell me, Soul? What do you mean what I didn't tell you? Why didn't you tell me that 16 years ago, this poor girl could have actually survived? I did. I'm as confused as you are. I swear. I was there when it happened, lady, alright? Nobody could have survived that fall. Well, guess what? She did. And now she's a problem, and what you're doing is not helping. So, how about you just sit back here in Coruscant and let me and the rest of the Jedi do our job. Now, hold on, boss. I know you're pissed off, I know you're angry, but listen to me here. You're on thin ice right now, so yes, I know that, but we have something. What do you mean we have something? We have something, and we could use that something to have her back on down. Because if you send the wrong Jedi after her, and she dies, guess what? We don't have her master. Well, the Jedi I sent won't let that happen, and it won't happen. But, where are you going with this? How about it? Okay, so she won't give up without trying to gain something back, right? I have just the thing. Okay, so what you got? And then we cut to the answer. Osha trying to leave the Jedi temple. Soul finds her in the crowd, calls her out. Osha's like, listen, look, Soul, thank you, but thank you for clearing my name and all that, but I really gotta go. You guys got this. I don't need to be doing this right now. Yes, but you don't understand. She's family to you. Okay, yeah, but still, she is fucking psychotic, okay? And she's scary. She's already killed 2 Jedi. What can I do, alright? You guys have this. This is your problem, not mine. Thank you for clearing my name. She is still your family. Okay, I'm related to a psychopath. What else? And she still has a heart. Really? Yeah, no, she has a heart. I mean, her expression changed when I name dropped your name. She cares about you, Osha. Come on, you gotta understand. You gotta come with me, because if you agree to come with me, there is a chance we could actually save her, bring her back to the Jedi Council, and things will be Jedi here in Coruscant, and things will be good. All right, so you win, but I'm not wearing that civilian garb. Next shot. We see her wearing that civilian garb. Now, the civilian garb is kind of laughable. It's like they put it. It's like they put a. It's kind of like they were trying not to look like they look like space jeans, but they remind me way too much of those, those gray jeans that are kind of worn out, but without the holes in them. That it looked like it used to be blue, but because they've been worn so much, they've turned gray. Yeah, that's kind of she's wearing a whole outfit of that color, and it is kind of funny looking. So I don't blame her not liking how it looks. As she's sitting there and presumably Soul ship, she's listening to a presentation Yord is given to the situation that him, Jekai, Soul, and some more Jedi in the room are going to be walking on into, describing that it's been about a year since they've talked to and been able to reach the Wookiee Jedi. So, there is that. And he kind of gets into more details, but we don't hear those details because we get to see what the one thing apparently Acolyte really wants to sell, a little gopher character. And the little gopher character just kind of notices May little pocket droid. The pocket droid notices it, and the gopher character gives a little growl. This seems to threaten the May's little pocket droid and sprays water at him. I think it's water. It could easily be oil because it's coming from a little droid, but because of how small it is, my guess is water or some sort of water-based solution. So May doesn't realize this until the water starts spraying from her, and she's like, "Stop! Look, little man, I'm so sorry. Then she kind of tries to join the herd of Jedi, kind of having their little powwow about what they're walking on into. She kind of goes up to Jekai standing next to her in the group. It's like, hey, what is the furball? He, she, what is that? Oh, that's Basil. Okay, it's a Basil. Cool. At that point, Yord is like, yes, civilian. Thank you. You have any thoughts on the presentation so far? No, Yord. It is very informative. Yes, very, very informative. And that's the scene right there. We cut to the next spot. The next spot is May and a Poison Maker. Which, by the way, when I was writing this, and I was watching along with the subtitles, it was at this point the subtitles actually named the Poison Maker. His name is spelled Qimir. I think, I could be wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong on this, but I think it's pronounced Qimir, or I could be mistaken, it could be Quamir, where there is no U and the I takes over. But it's kind of spelling aside, it does kind of suck, and it is kind of a little lazy, and this is coming from somebody who's a D&D and DMs, where if you introduce a new character, even if it's a side one, don't be afraid to say the name of the character. Just saying, don't let the subtitles save the audience the trouble of trying to find out the character's name. Otherwise, the entire time, the audience is going to be calling it, Poison Maker, dude with the green hat, the tallest person in the room with the horns, or the short squat little guy. Okay, that time I am describing a D&D party, but that's a better video for a better time. So, with that, they're getting more further into the forest, and May is showing she's kind of starting to have doubts for this whole mission. She kind of does think that this last mission that she's on to kill the Wookiee Jedi, and the other Jedi in particular, it is the final test. When in reality, no, it's not the final test. It's impossible. The Poison Maker, or Qimir, I'm just going to keep calling him Poison Maker. I'm going to try to remember his character's name being Qimir, but that's going to interchange in That's going to interchange that I described the rest of the show. Poison Maker Khmer is like, what are you talking about? No, it is possible. He wants you to do this. And if he wants you to do this, that means it can be done. And you know what? Your nerves are kind of going off right now. And we still got to keep going, but this can be done. Okay, about that. Let's take a break for a little moment, says May. But, I mean, yes and no, but yeah, okay, I get it. You probably do need a break. What's wrong? What's wrong? Well, it's my sister. She's alive. It kind of changes everything. And again, this whole situation is impossible. Okay, May, listen up, little princess. I wish he said that, but this is what he says. It's not impossible, and your sister being alive really doesn't change anything, honey. So what? She's there. So what? She's Jedi scum. What can she do? She can't do shit. Okay? So, tell you what. You wait on here. I'm going to get us some water, and yeah, I'll be right back. We then cut to the Jedi and the rest of the party. Now, there is a scene I did lie about where it's just showing May and the Poison Maker going further into the woods, but that's really it. And because nothing really happened in that scene, I don't see a reason to talk about except for there's a pointless scene right here. We move on. I actually know that you get to describe all the 4 episodes being a lot of pointless scenes. That'll be for another video though. So, or somebody who's better at making jokes than I am. We cut to the Jedi and May also landing onto the planet, and we see Jedi talking to a local alien via translator, trying to figure out, where's our Jedi Wookiee at? As that little conversation's going on, which would have been actually kind of cool to see, no, we're going to show a little small dialogue between Yord and Osha, where Yord's like, all right, civilian, you really don't need that blaster, so how about you just hand it over? Osha, oh, you mean this blaster? The blaster I'm holding on to. The same blaster that I've been carrying since episode 2. No! Then Jedi comes on in. Oh, hey guys, so just got done talking to the locals, and the locals essentially say, yeah, since the Wookiee landed, he's been in the Force, hasn't come out since then. And then they all kind of step forward more into overlooking the giant forest. Now, I do have to say, somebody on this whole production team clearly did their homework on just Star Wars, and the Force looks really cool. Okay, so I'm going to give props right there. And so it's like, oh, he's in there. We are going. And then we find out what Basil's actual purpose is. He is a tracker. So Basil is given a little cloth by Yor. It's like, all right, good. Here, sniff, sniff. Find the way. Basil takes a sniff, sniff, makes a cry, and then starts leading the charge. We do cut to them on kind of this really nice open hill kind of area as they're trying to get further more into the forest. And Osha just kind of goes up to Yor. It's like, okay, so, Basil, what exactly is a Basil? Basil is a he, and yes, I do understand him, but for some reason, a lot of students want to learn a different language like Sharuk, but I decided to take more practical lessons. Right, Yord, okay, that makes sense. I'm just not going to address it right now, but, Yord, I do got an actual favor. Okay, May, what's going on? Well, you see, Yord, it's this whole my sister thing. I don't think I can face her. And if it comes down to it, and yeah, Soul wants me to face her, but face her instead. Seriously, she might kill me. It's not going to go well. May, with how long I've known you, and with how long I've known Soul, well, I know May's your wound, and I believe Soul believes you could face yourself here and help us somehow. Okay, that's really not helping me. Just, you're stressed, you're angry, understandably, but trust in Soul. He knows what he's doing. I trust in Soul. So, we're going to do the thing. Now come on, we're getting behind. Okay, you're coming up with you. Now, we still focus more on the Jedi party. As they go further into the woods, there's this kind of creepy, darker woods that we see them cut into. And again, going back to the whole, that's where the scene of Poison Maker and May going on in, really not necessary, except for maybe that. So I think there is some slight argument for that scene. But the weird part about this show, and oddly enough, the last live action show this Star Wars had, the cutting is incredibly weird. And this is coming from somebody who barely uses editing skills on his YouTube videos. But that's because I don't have an editing software yet and I'm being dumb right now. But, moving on. The scene is a little bit weird because it could be almost classified as in really unnecessary. Yes, we see them go into the darker woods, closer to where May and Poison Maker Gomir is. Now, in the woods, on these trees, there are these kind of sack-like, roly-poly creatures with some webbing that's on the trees. And so May is just kind of curious, just kind of touches one of them. Slightly before that, there was a little noise that the tracker made that Yor translates, saying, hey, there's something rotten in this forest and something's not right here. So it's like, okay, we gotta keep the noise down and just we gotta be quiet. We gotta keep going though. May then just kind of touches one of the bags kind of curiously. Nothing really happens that she sees until it starts crawling up the tree and kind of flies on off. She's like, okay, that's a thing. And as it flies on off, she turns it back thinking, okay, whatever. But then it starts making flying bug noises at them. And she turns around and it's out the edge of the trees. And it looks like that it's... At first I thought it was going to wake up the other tree bug kind of things, but apparently not. No, it looked like it seemed to be ready to attack, and it started coming straight on through the forest. By that point, Osha calls out Soul. Soul turns around, okay, everybody stand down, I got this, guys. And then he activates his lightsaber. As the bug comes on in, instead of going directly for Osha, it actually goes straight into the blade of Soul. Soul cuts it in half. Everybody's like, oh, it's attracted to light. Soul deactivates his saber. We gotta keep moving. Come on, let's go. Now, I was kind of half expecting the rest of the forest bugs to kind of wake up and then, attack him next. Unless that's the Chekhov gun for 2 episodes or so from now, which would make sense, but, not. So, the scene really wasn't necessary, except for... what follows next is them trying to justify the scene, I guess, of Osha is kind of feeling a little bit down about what happened to the bug, and Jackie's like, okay, girl, what's up? Well, I feel a little bit guilty about what I did to the bug. I woke it up, it saw me, it came alive, and then Soul killed it. Because of me, it's now dead. Yeah, that kind of sucks, but you know what? Seeing those actually get embraced into the Force is honestly kind of a beautiful thing. And well, you've also seen death more than me, but what defines us is what we survive, not how we survive. And you've survived a lot. Now, again, is this scene really necessary? It's kind of on the 50. It's kind of on the lower end of the 50-50 scale, except for maybe giving more rational, positive points to Jakai, and maybe the show trying to say, hey, you know what? They're just friends. She and Jakai and Osha hopefully could be chill buddies, unless the show is trying to play the heavy-handed card. It's like, oh, see, they're crushing on each other. See, guys? I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong on that. But again, trying to give the show the benefit of the doubt as much as I possibly can. I'm going to try not to talk about last episode yet. Don't worry, I remember those 2 cans of worms. Okay, we'll get to that. So, as they go further into the forest, they hear a scream from May. And this alerts all of them. No, my apologies, that doesn't quite happen yet. Okay, the editing of the show is why I'm kind of hopping around so much, and because of how much energy it takes to describe what keeps on going wrong with the show. A little bit after the little talk with Jakai, Osha says to Master Soul, hey, so why exactly am I here now? Yeah, May, you're here because you're ready. Yeah, but why wasn't I ready on the last planet when I tried to confront my sister? Because I mean, I'm feeling get better with the Force. I think I'm brave enough to actually talk to her, but I need to know why I'm here. Okay, so listen, Osha, I'm bringing you here because I'm not having you face her. I'm having you face yourself and your past. And I'm here to face my past and myself. And I know there's a way that you, me, and her could get to the ship safely. When we get back to Coruscant, I swear, I'll explain everything. Right. Okay, Master Soul, I don't believe you, but I'll just go with you. You know what? That's good because we gotta cut to the next scene. The next scene is, again, May screaming. And the Poison Maker kind of looks up what they're doing by some sort of river, and the Jedi party just kind of gets up. It's like, yo, okay, let's go. Let's try to figure it out. Also, in this scene, slightly beforehand, the tracker somehow got lost. And unfortunately, I think they thought this line was funny, but York says a line, great, we need a tracker to track down our tracker. Yeah, that's haha, I guess. I assume they think it's funny. Going to the scream now, actually. So the Poison Maker runs up trying to figure out, May, where are you, May? The Jedi are trying to looking around. It's like, okay, yo, we gotta follow that sound. It's her. Poison Maker reaches her first. And when Poison Maker reaches her, he gets into a little trap that she laid out by the tree. It's a kind of a cartoony, simple loop trap where dude sets his foot into a loop, a string of rope connected to a tree. You've seen it before. Hoists him up. He's upside down now, saying, what's going on? And then May just kind of walks out. Yeah, so, in fact, I kind of did need you, and you're wrong, Mr. Poison Maker. I am not doing this, all right? I'm going to turn myself in. You know what? The fact that my sister is actually alive means everything's kind of changed. This is ridiculous, suicidal. I'm going away. Mr. Poison Maker while upside down. Okay, you realize he will kill you. Yeah, but you realize he has to find me first. Bye-bye. And so we see May kind of running around in the forest, and then she kind of trips into this little egg sack nest kind of thing. As she looks up from the nest, trying to get up, she sees our little furry tracker buddy. Oh, hi, little buddy, May's trying to say. But the tracker buddy is like, yeah, no, I'm going to scream now. Please don't scream. Screaming noises! So he makes the screaming noises. May, for some reason, books it. Now, the only reason I could see her booking it is because she's now scared and worried that her master's on planet and would probably find her via the earlier scream she made, and now the tracker making the tracker screaming noise. And she kind of looks around and she bolts to the hut. Now, here's a problem with my theory that she's afraid that her master is there. If her master didn't show up when she did that little fake scream, probably isn't there. However, we see that the master is there, like as of 5 minutes ago. Because as she gets into the hut, we get to see our Jedi Wookiee at his chair, facing away from the camera. And as May goes in and says, hey, Master Wookiee person, we see, unfortunately, a giant lightsaber cut that doesn't actually look too deep, actually, but it's right across his chest, and it's implied that he's dead. Can of worms number 3. Right, don't worry, we'll dig into that in a moment. The Jedi get to the hut, And one of them calls out, "In the name of the Galactic Order of the Jedi, whoever's in this hut must come on out." And we see May just kind of realizing, oh crap, they're here now. She kind of looks outside a little bit, trying to see them without seeing them. The Jedi are looking around, it's like, okay, she's here, be careful, everybody. And then we see not quite a Mary Poppins entrance with the umbrella, but it is kind of a cool little gliding float thing that we see Darth Helmet, Mr. Smiley, the Master that we saw alluded to in the first episode, show up behind them. Osha turns around, sees the Assassin's Master. The Jedi kind of probably sensing something is up with what's going on by Osha, turn around, and sure enough, they see the Mr. Smiley helmet. Soul's just like, alright, hold on. Stop. Stand down. The Assassin Master just walks on up to me, and I'm really impressed so far. They're not revealing who's underneath the helmet. So I am giving props right here for a little bit, Star Wars. He activates his lightsaber. The red lightsaber kind of goes by May, but doesn't really do... No, goes by Osha. I apologize for mixing up their names. Really doesn't do anything to her yet. So says, Osha, get out of the way. Activates his lightsaber. So do the other Jedis. The Sith Master just kind of force pushes her out of the way, and as the Jedi do their charge, just like from the trailer, the Assassin Master uses the ground, pushes the dirt on to the Jedi, and that is the episode. Yes, this entire episode was a build-up. Now, should it have been a build-up? We'll see in episode 5. Yes, by the time I upload this, episode 5 is out, and I plan to be watching it, writing down my thoughts on it, and trying to figure out what I could say about it without getting too angry. But speaking about getting angry, let's open up those 3 cans of worms that was set up nice properly for us. Let's start out with the first can of worms. Not telling the Jedi Council. So, Acolyte, I know you kind of don't want the Jedi to be the good guys. Okay, you know what? That's totally fine. Okay, you know why? Because the Jedi, they've not always been good. I agree. Look at the Mandalorian War that Revan charged on into. The Jedi were absolutely saying, no, we should not do it, but Revan was like, you know what? As peacekeepers, it is our responsibility to jump into there. And it was a war that was incredibly brutal, and a large contingent of that Jedi did join Raven to try to stop the war and try to end it, which made it all the more brutal. Now, if you wanted to do a story to kind of put the Jedi into a darker light, there's already one right there. It's called the Mandalorian War. And for those of you at home who still don't know what I'm talking about, I would heavily recommend looking up what the Mandalorian War was and what it did to the planet Mandalore. Because the planet Mandalore, by the time we see it in... Why is the name escaping me right now? It's one of the best live-action seasons of Star Wars ever did. Mandalorian. It actually used to be a beautiful place. Then the Mandalorian War happened. And then a lot more stuff happened. So, for the viewers at home, I would heavily recommend looking that up. It is a great story, and it's a great little precursor to all the events that kick off between Revan and his apprentice and the Jedi Knight games. Now, Star Wars could have easily done that. Because this show was given so much money, like more money than the last live action show, which was Obi-Wan. And again, Star Wars seems to be on a hell of a curve right now to look at the Jedi and say, okay, so the Jedi is flawed. And I'm sitting here like, yes, the Jedi is flawed, but not outright stupid, alright? So, how are you going to show us that the Jedi is flawed? Well, Vernestro's not going to tell the High Council, even though that she should, that this whole Acolyte thing is going on. Why? Well, she believes and that she says She believes what she says, and she says that the Jedi Council have to report to the Senate when things happen. Okay, there's a lot wrong with that, and now, if you're trying to give the Jedi a narrative, legal, rational collar, like, do you mean tell me the entire time with how big the Jedi got, the main reason they didn't fully overtake the galaxy, which they could have easily done, was the Senate basically put a little collar on them, like, at least like, okay, wait, boy, behave, alright, now go do the thing, just come back to me if you need some money or some ships and make sure to keep the peace. Okay, I'm going to do this. Oh, you're back. Oh, is everything all good? Good. Okay, keep doing what you're doing. Blah 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 blah. Is that what you're trying to tell us? Which, yes, there were tensions between the Jedi Council and the Senate leading up to the Clone Wars. And even there is a good argument about that's the main reason why Qui-Gon didn't join the Jedi Council. However, if this is a time period where all that stuff started going on, and that's what you're trying to tell us, show, you're still doing a bad job of doing that, okay? The fact that even with how messed up this whole situation is, the fact that they are standing in the goddamn Jedi main building on Coruscant, where all the most powerful Jedi in Coruscant are, and could easily sense, okay, you're lying, what's up, come on, talk to me, and just at the drop of a hat, and a Jedi could read each other's minds. You mean to tell me that there's a secret meeting in the main building where all the Jedi congregate that says, okay, here's what we're not going to tell our bosses. We're not going to tell our bosses that 2 Jedi Masters are dead, trained by that was killed by somebody who was also trained by one of our own, and that person we thought was dead is actually alive, and instead of, asking our masters for help because, they might be smarter than us, stronger than us, have more pull, and maybe, guide us because, they are our leaders. No, we're not going to that at all. We're going to hide it from them. Yeah, we're going to hide it from them. We're going to take care of it ourselves, and we're going to solve it ourselves. Okay. That whole mindset right there screams way too similar to a movie that was made from from the Disney trilogy. I think you all know what the movie is. Watching this, if I have to spell it out to you, The Last Jedi. Miss Purple Hair Lady, thinking, oh, I have a plan, guys, believe me, I have a plan, it's okay. Even though our ships are being slowly picked off by a Star Destroyer, we don't have enough fuel for hyperspace, our people are literally dying, we are the last of our military, but I have a plan, just go, just do what I say. Okay, boss lady, what are you doing to say? Don't jump into the starship, just hang tight. How about no? And we're going to do a little coup, and you sound more like a traitor, so this isn't going to work. Yeah, Leia, can you Cinderella your way through this whole situation and kind of help us through it? Yes, thank you very much. Okay. Did you learn anything, Poe? Yeah, you're an idiot. It's okay, that's why you're on a ship, and that's why I'm going to take the ship into hyperspace drive and run into the ship that's been murking us. Okay. That's what this whole bit feels like. And just this episode just kind of confirmed a very, very painful theory that I had ever since what happened to Obi-Wan. The Acolyte, in the first episode, it was said, and the Acolyte kills the dream. For those of us who actually grew up thinking the Jedi were the cool badasses, giving us hope. If we want to make them dark, let them have sense. Again, going to the Mandalorian War. All right, that it does. You do see both sides of the coin and why that would split the Jedi. Some of the Jedi being like, you know what, that is way too hot for us to handle. We should not do it. And the other side like, no, it's hot enough for us to do it. And then Mandalore went to a really cool, pretty place into basically a pit of a world. If you wanted to do that story, Acolyte, you could have easily done that. Unless you threw that whole conflict into your Legends category. Which you probably did, based off how you guys want this show to be written. So, bravo! You succeeded. No, not succeeded. The opposite of succeeded. You disappointed me in a spectacular way. Good job. Very good job. Speaking of, here's the second can of worms. The little dickhead Jedi. Yeah, guess who it is? It's Ki-Adi-Mundi. And, now, if you were to watch this show after watching the trilogy, the prequel trilogy and the sequel trilogy and the Disney trilogy, you might not think, okay, there's a problem here. Now, this argument is kind of a little bit of a technicality, but also a mishandled technicality. So the age of Ki-Adi-Mundi, before this show aired, keep in mind, basically had him not be alive during this whole event. Apparently, from the people who know Star Wars a lot better than me, and Ki-Adi-Mundi who know a lot better than me, the main reason the whole Ki-Adi-Mundi bit is kind of aggravating in itself is twofold. One, this show is now trying to set up that whole line of Ki-Adi-Mundi saying in the High Council Room of the Jedi in Episode 1, there hasn't been a Sith for millennia. So you mean to tell me that Ki-Adi-Mundi helped cover this whole thing up? Okay. That's what the show is implying. Second thing is his Wikipedia page. Now, Wikipedia, its reputation is kind of mixed, alright? The fact that they are trying to be the main lore source for all Star Wars. Not an easy job, alright? And I do appreciate the work that they have done, trying to keep logged and record all the now Legends events that used to be canon. Because a lot of the stuff that I brought up, like the Mandalorian War, you're probably going to see a little divide as it's trying to describe it, where it says canon versus Legends. So, not an easy job. I kind of feel bad for Wikipedia, but as the show was airing, I found out that as Theory reacted to seeing this as well, you could catch his watch party video. I would heavily recommend those at home. They were trying to update the webpage to say, oh no, Ki-Adi-Mundi's life was da-da-da-da-da, and the problem is that page was getting error-botted quite a lot, and a lot of people were trying to access that page when this episode dropped, which would naturally happen. You know, there could have been a simple little conversation Star Wars could have had with Wikipedia, be like, hey, heads up Wikipedia, so we're going to throw Ki-Adi-Mundi in this. Make sure you guys get a hot patch ready for it, alright? Now, if Star Wars did that to Wikipedia, okay, cool, that would have been fine. And it could have been a matter of, okay, trying to hot patch that in, and just having a rough time doing it. That's what I'm hoping happened. Again, I really gotta stop giving hope to this show, but I'm a Star Wars fan, and I'm an optimistic Star Wars fan, so I'm already screwed on both of those fronts. So that's a Ki-Adi-Mundi worm can, and if Star Wars were to throw any other Jedi in there, the least Star Wars could have done, or Acolyte could have done, be like, hey, so we want to throw this Jedi in. Somebody just look up how long they were alive for, just in case, cover our bases, so we don't have another backlash of the show. I mean, we're trying to piss off fans, but we don't want to piss off fans for, missing a small little mistake. How small that can of worms is, I'll let you decide, but it's it doesn't help. It doesn't help the show, and this whole show still feels like a constant slap beat to the face of, people who actually like Star Wars. Speaking of another slap to the face, let's talk about our Wookiee friend. Now, Master Kofar, or on the planet Kofar. Star Wars, Acolyte. You gave us the opportunity. You gave us the hope of seeing not only a Jedi Wookiee, which is badass in itself, because Wookiees are badass, I'll die on this hill. We could have seen him actually fight with a lightsaber, or if not lightsaber, just more like a Wookiee Jedi that's focused more on, doing force effects, because he might not like the Jedi, the lightsaber for some unknown reason. Okay, either way, we could have done that. We could have seen that, right? If this is the actual dead shot of the character, okay? Now, there are a couple rumors going around on the internet explaining why they decided to just show that scene of the Wookiee Jedi. Well, it's because they didn't have enough money. You mean to tell... Okay, hold on a minute. You were given quite a substantial amount of money to make this show. It was greenlit, and with this is the most money you put into live action Star Wars show. Out of all the other shows you've put out, this is the one you're throwing a bank and a half into, if not 2 banks worth. And you could have easily, if you wanted the Jedi Wookiee to die, just give him a good death. Okay, he could have been the last one standing, and the main bad guy you want to make sure lives, or barely lives for this, gets mostly messed up by that. They could have easily done that, but not with the amount of money you were given, apparently. So that brings up the question. Alright, how much money did you actually put into the production versus how much money did you put into the advertising? Something tells me, Acolyte, you put most of your cards into the advertising, because with how much of a rage bait the entire press tour was, okay, it honestly feels like that's what you were trying to do. Or you just don't want to admit that you were playing blackjack with hookers and below. Which, I mean, with that amount of money, I could definitely see that being a fun time for those who partake in those activities. So, how does this episode stack up against episodes 1 through 3 so far? Well, it's still kind of laughably bad and angry bad. Because right now, the only thing that's keeping me motivated I got 2 things keeping me motivated to keep covering and doing my reviews of this show. 1, it is laughably bad. Like, right now, there's nothing the show could do to impress me with, oh, this show's going to be badass. This is a sleeper hit. I really wanted to say that. This episode could have been a great episode to do that. Just like the 3rd episode. Just like the 2nd episode. Just like the 1st episode. But, no. We're not there yet, ladies and gentlemen. We're not at the, drop everything and go see the show yet, We're not there. And instead of the show not realizing, I'm making the mistake, but I'm still doing this. No, the show knows what it's doing. They know what they are doing. And as I keep saying, as a Star Wars fan, if you really love something, if how they're writing it makes you annoyed or angry enough, you sound off, okay? In forums, YouTube videos, little comics, what have you, okay? But if you want something to change, you talk about it, okay? Yes, not every Star Wars fan is going to agree with me. Welcome to the internet. This whole show is in one of 2 sandboxes. The sandbox is like, oh, cool, this is a Star Wars? Okay, we're doing it my Star Wars, and only my Star Wars. Or, the other sandbox. Oh, this is Star Wars. I'm going to destroy everything about it, because I don't like this for some reason. It hurt me for some reason. I'm going to hurt it back. Seriously, who hurt you, Acolyte? Who hurt you? Because if Acolyte, if this is your little trying to say, yo, somebody hurt me in Star Wars, there's a lot better ways to do it. without pissing off the entire fan base. There's a lot better ways to do it, you know? So how does this episode stack up? I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. As much as I dug into this episode, here's why. 1, the writing between Jekai and Osha, to me, they're just being bros, alright? They're not really forcefully saying, oh, look, there could be lovers, isn't that so cute? I'm not getting too many of that vibes. I'm hoping that vibe doesn't kick off, but if it does kick off, I hope it's a well-written love story between the two, alright? I'm a sucker for a good love story, whether it's same sex or different sex or what have you, alright? So, if you want to give us a good love story through this, you could have done this a lot better, Acolyte, but you know what? If the payoff is good and it has me crying, hoping sweet dreams for these two characters, all the more better. Then I'll start eating my words. The second plus is, well, again, through all of the episodes, I really do like the set design. Somebody clearly has done their homework on, okay, here's what Star Wars looks like. Okay, so here's what we're going to try to make all the scenes feel and look like Star Wars, and it really does. And again, the music is pretty good for the moments it needs to hit and the moments it just kind of needs to be background, so there's no complaints about that. The acting is really good. There's no hard moments where you look at it, take it's like, okay, they clearly were bored of that line, or if that has happened, it's been very few times, all right? Now, if the writing was mid, it would be good, you know? Unfortunately, the writing keeps going from slightly getting to mid to now jumping back down the stairs. No, not jumping down back the stairs, flying down the stairs. It's like this show is, it's like showing up to a circus, okay? You see one part of the circus jump through the hoops. Okay, cool. You're happy. You're pretty impressed. You go to another part. They jump through the hoops differently, but you're happy. You're pretty impressed. And then you go to the hoop circus Acolyte is. They set up all the hoops. They make it a big spectacle, and they say, hey, look at this hoop. It's purple. Or, hey, look at this hoop. It's blue. And this one's yellow. We're going to jump through all 3 of them. And then when everybody's ready, okay, let's see him jump through it. They just walk by the hoops, knock every single one of them down. And then they look at the audience like, why are you annoyed? I got the hoops down. Of course the audience is annoyed. They wanted to see you jump through the hoops, not knock them down. So, Acolyte, episode 4, is a 2 out of 5. Look, if you're going to have Disney Plus, don't watch this show yet. Alright? Watch Andor, The Clone Wars, the original trilogy. It might give you some good laughs. That's what I could recommend. I hope you enjoyed this. There is a little slight update on my D&D videos. I'm going to put a pause on the D&D videos because I can't do the Acolyte and the D&D videos at the same time without getting burnt out. So once I get done covering the Acolyte videos, I'm going to jump back to my D&D videos, remake them so they're not too much. I realized talking to my players and our people, I tried to fit a lot too much into them. And I'm going to try to fix that after the Acolyte series. And my next videos are going to be talking about episode 5 or possibly one of my acting monologues. My last one just got 20 views last time I checked it, so if you want to see my acting skills, feel free, give that a like. If you got any acting critiques, feel free to put them down in those videos. What are your thoughts about Star Wars? Am I being a total asshole that's not giving the show a chance, or am I being reasonable and actually being hopeful, being a good Star Wars fan? I'm probably being a toxic Star Wars fan, but either way, I hope you still enjoyed this video. Hit the bell, subscribe, check out my Instagram. I'm going to be trying to put some more artsy stuff up on there. And until next time, this is CUP9, out. And may the Force be with you, because goddamn, us Star Wars fans need it.